Good morning, everyone. We have KVSM Krishna sir from Mangalayatan University. So I'll start the interview. So first of all, sir, you are with the Mangalayatan University from so many years. So what inspired you to be in education sector?
Well, this is a sector where you can facilitate the self-shaping up exercise of students and their personality. Students shape up their own personality, and we, as teachers and educators, can facilitate them either by being a chisel in the hand or a hammer in the hand in shaping up their own limbs and the rest. So that interests me.
Okay. So, sir, what is your philosophy of leadership and how will you describe that?
Well, I personally believe leadership is at its ultimate form of manifestation if the leader remains invisible and unidentified. And that's the kind of leadership perhaps would stay for long and will have its impact for years and years, centuries and together. And if you are also wanting to know what style of leadership that I personally like,
Yes, ma'am.
it could be classified as a servant leadership. By facilitating realization of one's own strengths. If I could provide leadership to the people, I would personally feel elated.
Very well, sir. So basically, education system in India and other foreign countries are structured very differently. So in your experience, what can an inbound student gain from studying in Mangalayatan University?
Well, the serene environment of the campus with its value artifacts across the length and breadth of the campus, and also the promise that they are being heard and attended to almost immediately and live. This is the kind of demonstration perhaps is something unique to our campus, which I personally believe people coming from overseas would cherish and enjoy. And that we provide.
So, how does the curriculum of Mangalayatan University ensure the best practice of industry?
Well, we do conduct periodic curricular revisions based on our own acquired knowledge bases through participation in various relevant forums, and also by inviting the industrial experts to be on our boards of studies, which basically develop the curriculum. And thus we ensure that the best practices of the industry are brought to the fold of our curriculum.
So basically you invite the industry people to your university so that student could interact with them.
Oh yes. They take part in our boards of studies. They deliver guest lectures. And industry, not only the one which immediately picks up our students, but also the excellence in various walks of life we bring together for providing students an exposure that comes pretty handy when they are in real work and so on.
Okay. Very well said, sir. So, sir, any insight into how Mangalayatan University could be more welcoming to the student of different races or economic backgrounds?
We are a minority university.
Yes, sir.
We are a university for Jain community, but we invite our Jain population in the entire Milu is not more than about 10%. We invite participation from every other ethnic group by establishing uniform practices and treatment for all who walk in. And so far as economic variations you refer to, I believe the existing scholarship schemes would address immensely, and maybe we will have to deepen them in course of time.
So, sir, next question is, what do you think your role and responsibility to the university and the students are?
Perhaps as Vice Chancellor of the university, it becomes the link between the legitimacy of the educational qualifications that students put up and the students' acquisition themselves. Students acquire degrees, and those degrees require legitimacy in the society. So I perhaps as Vice Chancellor provide a link between these two.
You act as
by ensuring that the processes, the consultative processes that develop students in various walks of education career in a legitimate fashion, so that the acceptability by the society and the world at large is ensured. And that kind of a link I will have to very consciously provide throughout the student's career, throughout the existence of the university.
Sure, sir. So, sir, what do you think should be Mangalayatan University's top priority over 10 years?
Well, preparing students for the Industry 4 is there anyways. We have been working on it since last about one and a half year. That is equipping everybody with the advanced technology such as AI, blockchain management, so on and so forth, flexible manufacturing systems. But in addition to that, given the COVID-19 scenario, since we do not know when we would all get totally back to the normal, I visualize a great role for online education, online examinations, including online examinations. And that's where innovative solutions and student-friendly connectivity routes we will have to put in place, and that exploration perhaps will take the highest priority in the next few years to come. But in the longer span, within the 10 years that you are talking about, perhaps we will focus more on bringing medical education for paramedic medical courses, for dental courses, for nursing, and also the allopathy and Ayurvedic medicine. So in that line, we will be working for years to come. And we also would want to insist on industrial activity within the campus by the students. By the students while they are studying. So that kind of a hands-on involvement, while helps in generating or increasing the productivity, while increasing the productivity, it will expose students to both classroom education and the shop floor education. So that's the kind of thing, if we can bring together. We have a vast campus, and within that, if we can bring together these two avenues where students get the holistic exposure, we would think we would have achieved what we wanted to.
This is very innovative thing what you are planning to bring the industry to the university only. So moving on, next question. When you first came to Mangalayatan University, what was your vision for the university? And has it evolved over time?
At that point of time, the larger vision was to serve the neighborhood. To serve the neighborhood, because the neighborhood is rural in nature, and their exposure to the higher education very, very minimal. And we wanted to, by establishing a higher education unit, that is the university, amidst the rural surroundings, we thought we will be serving the educational basis, knowledge basis of the society around. And I think over the last about 13 years, we have accomplished it largely, because our student milieu has been drawn largely from the neighborhood, while maintaining the cosmopolitanness by inviting people from other states like Bihar, even Northeast, and several foreign students as well. By maintaining that cosmopolitan balance, we have served largely the neighborhood in the last decade or so. And now we are increasingly moving towards bringing in foreign students, attracting them, providing their, the kind of ecosystem that they would enjoy. That kind of a thing we are focusing more. So for years to come now, we will see more and more international participation here. That's how we are looking at it.
Okay, sir. So, sir, what would you like people to know about Mangalayatan University that they may not know?
Well, as I was telling earlier, this is a university set up in rural surroundings. And therefore, awareness about a world-class university here is not quite high in the country. So we need to. We would want the country to realize that here is a university taking advantage of the rural surroundings and working towards developing an ecosystem that is comparable with world-class universities. In a sense, we started with an epithet that we are a Gurukul of global education. we wanted global education, and we also wanted to maintain Gurukul concepts of studentship and teachership. So that mix is getting very rare these days, rarer and rarer by the day. Therefore, this is another thing we want the society to realize. We are in no way lagging behind so far advanced technology and contemporary technology is concerned. And at the same time, we maintain the value ecosystem that I referred to you earlier.
Yes. Very well said, sir. So, what do you see as Mangalayatan University's strength?
Please say it again. Mangalayatan Universities?
Strength. What do you see as Mangalayatan University's greatest strength?
Greatest strength.
Yes.
Yeah. We draw our resources, faculty resources, from across the globe with qualifications acquired from across the globe, but by attitude, rooted in the location, rooted in the region, rooted in the service motto, rooted in the research orientation. And therefore, there is a great likelihood that we will be able to create a sort of unique resource mix, which would go a long way. During this recent lockdown phase, the same very faculty resource has demonstrated tremendous amount of initiative in embarking online delivery of classes as well as conducting examinations. For the first time, the team did, and they did it so well. At the end of the day, students and their parents and we could derive tremendous amount of satisfaction. And that kind of ruddiness, dynamism in the existing faculty resource, I consider as a great strength. Without compromising on the value basis, trying to make up for the requirements of the contemporary scenario. So that kind of a mix I am referring to. So that I consider as a great strength. And then the promoters of the organization, the financial promoters of the organization, also seem to be bearing these kind of concerns. Education as a prime motto, serving the society as an equally important motto and kind of things. So that mix also helps us immensely in going ahead. So we are just geared to move up and up on the graph. So we are counting a lot on it.
Yes, sir. So, what are some of the biggest challenges you see, both for higher education in general and Mangalayatan University specifically?
See, both higher education and Mangalayatan University, face one major challenge. That is an increasing liking in the society, that is the students and their parents particularly, for receiving education without having attended the class work or field work. And this trend has become now an inertia-driven trend. People started thinking that this is a great achievement. If without attending the classwork and field work or lab work, if they could receive the degrees, that is an achievement. And if government policies or regulatory policies can help them accomplish this, it would be a great thing in their lives. This is what they look at. This I consider as a great challenge the university Mangalayatan faces, and also in general the higher education in India faces. So we educators have a great responsibility to deal with it, provide answers, and develop interest in real worth of knowledge creation and knowledge sharing by both students and teachers equally. And we pave ways for it, individually as well as through the teams. We try to address that.
So,
Yes,
any suggestion that you would give to the current youth and aspiring students?
I would say, I would give a single point advice to my younger generations, and even their parents are younger to me. To both of them, my suggestion is, don't look for line cutting, shortcuts. There is no shortcut for acquisition of knowledge and acquisition of the ability to create knowledge and the readiness to disseminate this knowledge. There is no shortcut for this. You know, the epithet of Mangalayatan University is Vishwam Gnane Pratishtitam. What it means is, Gnan, that is knowledge, only establishes the universe. Vishwam Gnane Pratishtitam. The greater is the knowledge, the bigger the universe appears to the individual. The level of knowledge that you have determines the universe that you are able to see. The level of knowledge that I have determines the contours of the universe that I am able to see, and therefore there is no shortcut to this. I would stay back at home, and if somebody gives me a certificate by receiving a little money, kind of an approach, cannot help me enhance the universe that I am visualizing. And at the end of the day, this Vishwam has to be visualized in its full and real form. So to that level, knowledge has to unstoppably grow. And there is no compromise here. I mean, there is no shortcut here. One has to attend to that process personally. One has to attend to that process personally because it is one's gnanam. It is one's knowledge. It is not your knowledge that I count on, kind of a thing, you know. I will have to have that knowledge to see the contours of the Vishwam, that is the universe. Yeah.
Very well said, sir.
This is our epithet. This is the university logo.
Yes.
Our university logo is this, and we all believe in it, and we work towards it. And I wish everything that concerns about education sector, higher education sector around would help us accomplish this belief. Vishwam Gnane Pratishthitam.
Sure, sure, sure. So this is my side question that the new education policy that government has launched. So, is there any changes that university is planning?
In fact, there are several views, not. What I mean to say is, there are views on several items of the policy. And right now, coincidentally, by 11 o'clock,
Yes.
there is a Vice Chancellor's Forum, Vice Chancellor's Council, where we are going to deliberate on this. All of us Vice Chancellors. That meeting also began by 11 o'clock.
Okay, sir.
I just had shown up myself there a little earlier and attended to you because your time is fixed, I have understood. So I have come so that once it is through, I will go back to that council deliberations, and maybe after that, perhaps I will be able to share with you meaningful and more insights onto the 2020 policy.